welcome, or welcome back. This is Talk Your Shit with Deja, where we drop the I because not only can I talk my shit, but I want you to talk your shit too. How y'all doing? Happy Valentine's Day, y'all. It's the love day or whatever. Look out. I got on my hearts because it's the love day. But yeah, I hope y'all are doing amazing on this love day. And it's week 15. And like I mentioned last week, at the end, I said that this week, in honor of Valentine's Day, I'm going to be talking about unconditional love. You know, that mystical word that everybody thinks isn't real, but is it or is it not? Or is a person even capable of getting to unconditional love within their lifetime? Like, is that something that we really can achieve? Like, I just want to have a conversation about it because it's the love day. And I actually found this website that, of course, I'm going to include into the description or whatever so you guys can check it out. And I'm probably going to leave, like, the title of the website because I'm going to stop putting the websites in the videos, y'all, because y'all probably ain't even... I don't even know how y'all would be able to access the video from me putting the website in the video. So I'm going to just like leave it in the description box. And then I'm going to put the title on the screen of the article. And it's just basically kind of breaking down unconditional love and the benefits of it. And is it possible? Is it not? You know, things of that nature. And then, you know, I gotta put my little spin on it or whatever, and, you know, talk my shit on what I feel about unconditional love. Like, do I believe that it's something that we really can achieve, or do I think that it's just something that we like to throw around or whatever, like the case may be? So, you know, I'm gonna take it a little deeper because we like to go deep around here. And then the one thing I will say, y'all, is like, before I start, like, it's crazy. Every Valentine's Day, I'd be like, oh, I ain't got no Valentine. I ain't got no Valentine. I wish I had a Valentine. I wish I had. And you know what's crazy? Is in 2023, you know what? Though I'm single, I got a Valentine's, baby. And her name is me. And she loves me more than you'll ever know. And I'm finally see that loving you and loving me just don't seem to work at all. Oh, I'm sorry, y'all. Vocals. But yes, I am my own Valentine this year, y'all. Like, it's crazy because you don't even think about like the type of thought process you got to go through to be like, oh, I ain't got no Valentine every year. And you be looking at all the other couples and all this other stuff, like rolling your eyes, and you're like, I hated being in high school and everybody have Valentine. And so you see everybody with their flowers and their balloons and their big ass bears. Like, why did y'all bring that to school? So I used to be like sitting on the side just looking like, ew. Like, and it's crazy because like this whole time, I really could have been my whole Valentine, my own Valentine this whole time. Baby, I could have came to the school with flowers and roses and flowers is the same thing. I'm sorry, y'all. With flowers and chocolates and balloons and bears. And I could have brought all that for me. But I always felt like I needed to have somebody else there to do that for me to be able to enjoy it. And it's like, no, girl. You could do that yourself. Like I mentioned in the other episode. I don't remember which one. But I'm going to plug all of them. So go figure out which one I was talking about. But like I said in the other episode, go to a florist or call a florist and literally get a bouquet of flowers sent to you and leave a note. Or like, what's those little fruit things? Edible arrangements, baby. Get your little edible arrangement, have them deliver it to you and leave a note and everything, and be so surprised when it gets to your door and everything too. Like, you don't have to wait for outside sources to come in and be your Valentine. If you actually celebrate Valentine's Day, if you like Valentine's Day and you want to have Valentine and everything like that, don't wait for other people to come be your Valentine, baby. Be your own Valentine. If you're a physical touch type of person, schedule a massage for yourself. If you're an acts of service type of person, baby, Cook yourself a nice dinner, light you some candles, and sit at your table and enjoy your dinner and everything like that, girl. Who? You don't have to wait for nobody. Now, it is nice when other people do it for you because it means that you care. But in the meantime, in between time, if you're still single, like me, take yourself out and do something, or do something for yourself inside. Like, I'm still contemplating on if I want to go to the fair because I'm in Tampa, so we have the Florida State Fair right now. I'm still contemplating if I want to take myself out to the fair and go eat, because that's all I like to do at the fair nowadays. Old people, we like to go out there and eat. So I'm still contemplating on if I want to do that. But if I did, like, that would truly be like a gift for myself. Like, my love language is food, like I mentioned before. So I take myself and get my little donut burger or my little steak on the stick. I don't know, but I'm still contemplating. But while I think about that, this whole video, let's get it started. So on the website, the way it explains unconditional love is love without strings attached. So basically giving out those 5 love languages without any conditions, like giving it out with nothing back in return, giving it out just because that's truly what you want to do for yourself, is to love on everybody else around you and not wondering if they're going to reciprocate or give you anything back in return. Nothing like that. You're just giving it out. So it says that, so it says unconditional love can provide a sense of security in both childhood and adulthood. Feeling confident in someone's love and knowing it won't go away can help create secure attachments and foster autonomy, independence, and self-worth. If you know your parents or caregivers will continue to love you even after you make mistakes or do things they don't approve of, from failing a class to having a drink at a party when you're underage, you'll feel more confident you'll feel more comfortable making your own choices and learning from them as you go. In context of friendship, unconditional love might weather tests like conflict, falling out of touch, or different life goals. When it comes to romantic relationships, unconditional love could mean that love doesn't go away despite challenges like life-altering health conditions or changes in appearance or personality. Okay, so let's break this down. It helps you to feel secure. So like we mentioned in the attachment styles episode, plug, go watch it. I wish I knew the percentage, and I might look it up one day just so I can know the percentage, but the percentage of the different types of attachment styles each person has within the United States, or just like what's the most, y'all know what I'm trying to say. But the reason why I say that is because something that I noticed within the Black community is a lot of us have insecure attachment styles. So I feel like, because of course I only watch our people. I mean, I watch white people here and there, and Asian people, and everybody else, and all the colors of the rainbow. I watch them here and there, but I mostly watch our Black people. So when I see Black people talk about unconditional love, they don't believe in it. They don't think that it's real. They don't think that it's possible, that it's a thing that can happen. They, like, when I see people talk about unconditional love, they say that it's something that only, not even that you only get from parents. It's something that really people don't even know the concept of it. And the reason why I think that is because, like it says, it leads to security. And if a lot of us in our community are not secure and we're insecurely attached people, it would make sense why we don't believe in unconditional love. Either we're super anxious, or we're avoidant, or we're both, and we're working our whole life to try and be secure. So it's like, how can we give out love when we didn't get it in the appropriate manner in the first place? So it's just like, it makes sense why a lot of people tend to think that it is not a thing. at all. And I know I just repeated that. Sorry, y'all, I had a little brain fog, but yeah, it makes sense why people don't believe in it. Like, genuinely, if majority of us either had like shaky stability from both parents or maybe one parent because the other parent abandoned us, like, or you were just told to just shut down your emotions all like at all times, or you had both. So maybe you had shaky stability and then you were just told to shut it down, so now you're all over the place. It's just like, how are you even capable of giving out unconditional love when you never received it in the first place? So, and then the other time that I hear that unconditional love is the thing is, of course, with religion. So I know it might not be some religious people, but in the case that you are religious, they say that God is an unconditional lover. That sounded really intimate, but they say God is an unconditional lover. Like, he gives out love with no conditions. Like, that was the whole purpose of him sending his son, so that, you know, he dies on the cross for our sins, and then we literally sin all day every day, and he still loves us uh regardless of what we do in our life, as long as, you know, we apologize. You know, apology language quiz, go go check that out. But you know, as long as we apologize and repent for our sins and things of that nature, he gives out unconditional love. And honestly, y'all, I don't know if I'm saying this wholeheartedly, so don't come from my throat, but from what I've seen, that sounded the most accurate in how I described it. But if you know better, comment. And if you're on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, go to YouTube and comment and leave a more detailed ex- explanation. There we go. Of, you know, the unconditional love that God gives us. But that's the only other time I ever really hear about unconditional love. Then they say that, you know, the woman respects the man while the man gives unconditional love. And so I think that we were born to give out unconditional love. I just think that through man being man and creating all this shenanigans and being brought into a broken home and all this other stuff, it's hard to love unconditionally. Like, it's so hard to love unconditionally, but I think that we genuinely are supposed to do it, and I think that we have the capabilities to do it. But I think because of all that we go through, it's just so hard to get to a place of loving somebody without wanting anything back in return. It's like, and shoot, when you go online now, it's like the only time you should be doing something for somebody is if they giving you something back in return, especially if it comes to like close personal relationships. Like, the only time we want to do something for somebody, sometimes, I ain't gonna say we, I'm a little different, but the only time sometimes like people want to do something for somebody is when they know they're gonna get something back in return. Like, all relationships have become so transactional that, yeah, it does become hard to believe that unconditional love is a real thing, because people are so transactional. Like, I do something for you, you gotta do something for me type of thing. And it's just like, nah, that shouldn't really be how it is. But, you know, you can't change it. So it says that unconditional love is altruistic. Okay, y'all, I be having to slow down and enunciate. But it says altruism refers to helpful actions taken to support and benefit others, often at your own expense. In terms of unconditional love, altruism means you don't consider any potential benefits of loving someone. You offer your love for their support and benefit. Love, many say, is its own reward, but you typically don't get anything out of altruistic acts. This is one point of contention in discussions of unconditional love in romantic relationships. Because healthy relationships, by definition, are mutually beneficial, this would seem to suggest that romantic love, at least within the boundaries of a relationship, can't be truly unconditional. So that's something I've seen too, is like relationships aren't unconditional, because at the moment that you're not receiving love in the way that you want to receive love, you leave or get a divorce. You know, everybody screaming 50% divorce rates. Da 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 da. Um, so yeah, so I kind of agree with that. I do think that when you're connected to a person, like when you're truly connected to a person, you really are altruistic in the sense of, yeah, they may make you upset, but you still give them love regardless of them making you upset. Especially if you're in a committed long-term relationship, because you know that people have their off days. People have a lot of off days in some seasons more often than not. But you love them regardless. Is it irregardless? I don't know. But you love them regardless of their bad days because of who they are at the core, you know? So I think it is possible sometimes. Now, in today's society, I don't think nobody believes that unconditional love is a thing. Like, in today's society, I honestly think because we're not willing to stick through a lot of stuff, unconditional love seems to be drifting further and further and further away from us. I think that it is some, like, I low key think it's a thing of the past. Like, but it's unfortunate, you know. I do think that the being in the confines of a relationship sometimes helps you to grow the best. And so at the moment that you don't receive love anymore, to just leave just seems to, how can I say it? Like, it just seems like a easy way out. And I'm not even gonna say like it's an easy thing to do, because I know that leaving a relationship is the hardest thing you can do, especially when you gotta literally shut your mind off from that person and everything like that. But again, when you're in a relationship or close proximity or expressing vulnerability with a person, you get to the deeper sides of you, to the darker sides of you that you might not even know was there. So it gives you a chance to heal from that and learn how to do something better, and to replace old habits or bad habits with new. So to leave out a relationship just because somebody isn't, you know, attentive to your needs in a certain phase of life, it seems so easy. And honestly, I I'd say it seems easier to do that than to stay in something and to work on yourself. Let's say that. Because it ain't easy. Trust me, it's not easy to move on from anybody. I have the hardest time. But it seems easier to do that than to stay in that relationship and figure out how to work on yourself. But as far as like altruistic, I would say like the times when you would see unconditional love would be in the times that, you know, people they maybe do what is it called when you, not customer service, what is it called when you go help the people? Let's just say humanitarians, because I can't think of the other word. But um, when you're humanitarian and you go out and you help other people, of course, you're probably not getting anything back in return other than a feeling or words of affirmation or things like that. But for the most part, you're going out and you're pouring into other people, giving to other people, whether it be Habitat for Humanity, where you're going to go help build houses, or you're going to soup kitchens and you're helping to feed people, or, you know, and name any other charity or community service that you can go be a part of where you're helping people and not really trying to get anything back in return. That would be like altruistic acts. Or, you know, just when you think about somebody and you get them a gift and you just do that just because. Like, I have a lot of those moments where I'm just thinking about people, get them gifts and send it off. And it's not because I'm thinking about, well, I may be thinking about getting like a words of affirmation back in return. But honestly, if I don't get anything back in return, I ain't gonna say I don't feel no type of way. Like, I'm working on not feeling as bad as I would previously. I'm working on being okay not getting a reaction for me just being me, you know? So I definitely have my moments where I'm a little altruistic and I just do for people and don't want anything back in return. How often I am to do that, as much as I think about you, let's just say that. It says that unconditional love involves acceptance and forgiveness. People aren't perfect, and nearly everyone makes a few choices they regret. Unconditional love, however, requires unconditional acceptance. So you forgive mistakes and continue to offer love and acceptance, even, and this is important, if their choices distress you or cause harm. You can't love someone unconditionally unless your love remains unchanged despite their actions. You can, however, love someone unconditionally without having a relationship with them. Acceptance sometimes involves recognizing when it's unlikely someone will change and taking steps to protect your own well being. This is really key. So, this is something that we'll probably get to experience from parents, most likely than anybody else. Um, I do know that some parents definitely have a hard time giving out unconditional love, regardless of what you do. I know some parents will disown their children if you don't, date the person that you want to date, or they'll cut you off financially if you don't follow in the same career path that they want you to follow in. So I know that there's some parents who have a hard time doing this, but for the most part, you'll probably get the acceptance from parents. You may get it in romantic relationships too, or even friendships, but I think that the first place where you get this would be in childhood from parents. But I just think that a lot of the reason why we just have problems with unconditional love is just like parenting. If we're being honest, like that's where it all starts. And if you didn't receive unconditional love when you were a child, it's very hard to grow up and want to give it out, or even know how to give it out. Let's say not want to give it out, but know how to just love people unconditionally because you didn't experience that. But I think that for your parents, they probably didn't experience it either, which is why they didn't know how to give it out. I just think it's a big cycle. And honestly, I think we don't know how to unconditionally love one another because we have literally passed down so many conditions on what you're supposed to do with your life in order to receive love. Like, you have to get all A's in order to do this. You have to, clean up your room in order to do this. You have to do this in order to do that, and all this other stuff. And it's just like, there's so many conditions that get put on to your life that sometimes it'd be hard to even think that you're capable of unconditional love because there's been so many conditions around your love. And I know, like, especially for people who have been abandoned, you know, unconditional love from that parent is already out the door completely. So you haven't even been able to experience unconditional love from that parent because they were never there. You weren't even able to receive conditional love. Honestly, you weren't able to receive anything. So I think it's hard. And I think that that's what leads a lot of us to be out here just searching for love, is because we weren't able to get us the unconditional love in our childhood. So we just be out here searching, lost, and everything like that. And it's unfortunate, but it just goes to show you that you really have to fight them demons and lay everything down to rest, and not just suppress it and push it down and fight it and try to run away from it. Like, you really gotta face them and lay them down to rest. And then when they pop up again, you gotta soothe their head back down and lay them down. Like, you gotta face your traumas, because that's the reason why we have a hard time giving out love, especially unconditionally, because of trauma. I know for me, I have a hard time not giving out so much love, in a sense of, like, I think that when it comes to relationships or whatever, like how it says that it may not exist within relationships just because it's supposed to be mutually beneficial. I'm the type of person, because I am like that anxiously, I feel like anxiously attached people, we probably tend to love unconditionally to our detriment, if that makes sense. Like, but I wonder if it's loving unconditionally because I think we want something back in return. I think because we're trying to win somebody's attention over, or try to people please, or whatever the case may be, I don't even think that's unconditional love. Because even in a, I think that with anxiously attached people, I think it's disguised as unconditional love when we're constantly running after people and chasing after people and trying to impress them and show them that we're just that person to be in their lives or in that position or whatever the case. Like that, it seems like we're giving out unconditional love, but we want something back in return. Now, whether it's the same thing that we're giving out, it probably isn't the same thing we're giving out, but we want, like, reassurance. We want confirmation. We want, you know, affirmations. We want security. We want all of these things back in return. So I don't even think anxiously attached people love unconditionally. And you know what's crazy is I just came to that thought process just now in my own head, is because I always thought that, you know, me constantly still giving out love to, you know, the one person that I give out love to, I would think that, I used to think, because I just changed it right now going through my thoughts. But I used to think that me constantly just giving him my time, my energy, my efforts, giving him gifts to tell him I'm thinking about him, giving him words of affirmation and all this other stuff. I used to think that I was doing that unconditionally. I really thought that I was doing that with wanting nothing back in return. And now that I'm sitting here right now, it's like I have my days. I have my days. Let's be real. I have my days where I'm like, okay, if he never gives me anything back in return, it is what it is. Like, I'm still gonna give out what I give out when I give it out. But in my heart, I want something back in return. Whether that be a relationship, whether that be the same thing, words of affirmation or quality time. Like, I really give out all this stuff in hopes that I'm gonna get something back. And it's crazy because I'm telling y'all, I battle so much with this whole thing, and it just goes to show you that it's a part of my life that I really have a lot of digging and uncovering and everything to figure out. But I battle so much with this whole relationship, but it helps me to figure out so much. But it's crazy because I was gonna say anxiously attached people, we just unconditionally love everybody because we want acceptance, but it's like, no, we still want something back in return. So I don't even think we give out love. Like, is unconditional love really a thing? Like, y'all, I'm so sorry. My mind's probably all over the place, but it's starting to make me think, like, is it really a thing? Because we're all so unhealed. Like, I don't think you have the capacity to give out unconditional love when you're broken inside. If you have not become the essence of love, you have no capacity to give it out unconditionally. Truly. Because I have this book. Oh, it's all the way over there. It's I think it's called How to Be Loved. Uh, Yeah, it's called How to Be Loved. Sorry, y'all. I had to put my glasses on, but um, and it was talking about unconditional love, and I like, yeah, I really, is it possible? Because if you no, like, is it possible? Because if you don't if you don't have, yeah, if you, because we are love, right? So if we are love, that would be the way, that would be the reason why we can give it out unconditionally, is because everything that you would do would be in love, so it would be unconditional. You wouldn't want anything back in return if we are love, because you don't need love back in return because you are love. Well, the thing is a lot of us are broken, so we don't know how to be love because we we never learned how to be loved. Like, we never learned how to be love. So I think that that plays a major part in why it's something that doesn't come by every day. It's something that, even in the journey of healing and everything, because you have time, oh, excuse me, because you have times where you'll be triggered or relapse type of thing or whatever, I think that in essence, you're going to always want something back in return. Now, are you going to want it to match what you put out into the earth? Like, if I give somebody a gift, am I going to want them to give me a gift back? If I give them a gift, am I going to need them to say, thank you, I appreciate that so very much? Um, it's those things. Sometimes I don't care, but sometimes I do care. So, yeah, let me just keep reading before I keep repeating the same thing over and over again, y'all. I'm sorry. Okay, so it says what it isn't. So what isn't love, unconditional love? So it says confusion and misconceptions about the true nature of unconditional love can seem to suggest this type of love reflects unhealthy or toxic relationship dynamics. So it says unconditional love isn't ignoring relationship issues. So it says conflict is normal in relationships. Unconditional love doesn't mean you avoid this conflict or look away from problematic behavior. Say your partner spends your joint savings on an expensive exercise bike, a choice you completely disagree with. When you'd agreed to save up for a house, you might not stop loving them, but neither do you ignore the breach of trust. Depending on the circumstances, you might agree to work together on rebuilding trust in your savings, but you might also see no future in the relationship. You can walk away still holding forgiveness in your love, still holding forgiveness and love in your heart. Okay, actually, okay. So in reading that, that makes sense. Okay, so y'all, I do think unconditional love in a relationship is possible. Like, I really do, because I think one thing we don't think about is that, like, love has boundaries and love is disciplined. Like, love is not free flowing and everything. I think love is very much, it has boundaries and it is disciplined. And when you think about that within the confines of a relationship, any relationship, whether it be family, friends, or romantic, if those relationships don't have discipline and boundaries within them, I don't even think love exists within them. So so that's the reason why we probably don't think you can have unconditional love, is because a lot of people think that unconditional love automatically leads to you ignoring your own needs, or um not being able to communicate what you want or need from a relationship. And it's, from what it looks like here, is unconditional love is you could still continue to give out love to your partner, but you could also communicate like, yo, I noticed that when I come home after work, like, you don't ask me how my day is going. Like, you don't check in to see if I'm okay. Like, you don't do any of that. And, you know, when we first started dating, you used to do all those things. Like, what's been going on? So love is having that real conversation. Love is being able to sit down and be vulnerable with that person. Y'all, I think unconditional love is possible when you're mature. I'm sorry, y'all. My mind would be all over the place. But, you know, like, I think unconditional love is possible when you're mature, when you're secure in who you are, and when you trust the person that you chose. And in order to trust the person that you chose, you would have to trust yourself that you made the right decision for yourself. It all just comes back to you. This is why I just said love on yourself, self-care, self-love, all that good stuff, heal and all. Because if you think about it, unconditional love is giving out love, being selfless, which I already think that when you go into a relationship, you should only be thinking about the other person. And then with that other person, they should be just as selfless as you. In reality, I think that when you're going out here looking for a partner, that should be the number one at the top of your list. And I might need to add, well, I ain't gonna say I need to add that to my top 10 list of things that I want in a man, is for them to be selfless. Because that's the one thing I'm starting to know about myself, is that I'm completely selfless when I'm around other people. It's very rare that I'm thinking about myself. Like, I'm literally only thinking about the person around me. So I need a man, especially somebody that I'm gonna do this for life thing with, to be just as selfless as I am. You know, to constantly always, and not just my man, I need my friends. Now, family, that might be another bridge that we cross another day. But friends, you know, the people we get to choose, anybody I choose to be in my life, I need them to be just as selfless as I am. Because like I mentioned previously, is that if you're in a relationship where there's selflessness, there's never going to be a person that is going to be left in the dust. And I think that's the reason why a lot of people think that unconditional love is not real, is because a lot of motherfuckers out here are selfish as shit. They are raised to have an independent mindset. They are taught to think about self first. Even now, is if you're not getting what you need in a relationship, bounce. And it's just like, I can wholeheartedly agree with that. But I also think that when you choose to commit to a person, you chose that person for a reason. Now, the only time I truly think that you should be leaving out a relationship is if it's emotionally and it's physically abusive. Now, that should be the only times that you're leaving out a relationship. And it's kind of hard with the emotional abuse, because I feel like some people try to use everything to be emotional abuse, when sometimes we are just acting out what we learned in our past. And we're not trying to mentally abuse you on purpose. It's kind of something that's embedded in our DNA. And until people are cognizant of that, then they don't even know that they're emotionally abusing you, like on purpose, in a sense of, they probably would have learned that when they were younger, so this is how they resolve conflict. So now they come into this and they're just spewing out the same things that they may have received or seen or whatever. But it can be tricky, because if somebody is willing to work towards actually becoming a better person emotionally, and fixing those things, and working on not being so reactive and toxic and things like that, you should work through that. Now, the hitting thing, I don't necessarily know how to that you should stay, and I don't know, because I've never known somebody to be a hitter and then they just stop. That's just me. I don't know anybody that hit on people and they learn to just stop. Is it possible? Yes. And do they have to actively work every day to do that? Yes. But I don't, that's a hard thing to know if somebody actually genuinely wants to stop hitting on people. So I ain't gonna tell you to stay in a physical abusive relationship, but as far as the mental go, if you know that that person is actively working on, like, instead of like raising their voice or yelling, or being passive aggressive, or throwing in those little shots or digs, if you see that they're actively working on trying to be a better communicator, then there should be no reason why you're leaving out of that so fast. So I think that unconditional love in relationships is possible if we're patient and we give people grace. And I think that that's a lot that, like, I already mentioned last week, that we lack patience. But grace, we definitely like that too. Like, we honestly think that people are not supposed to do anything wrong, and at the moment that they do something wrong, you just have to leave. Like, no. Now, do I think that you leave when you don't see that they're trying to change anything? Like, if they genuinely don't, like I said, if you can't find somebody that's selfless, I would rather take a broken, selfless person than a healed, selfish person, if that makes sense. Like somebody who's so focused on themselves and always making sure themselves are good that, like, they're so healed and by themselves. I would rather take a broken, selfless person over a healed, selfish person. In a sense of broken, and I'll say, like, maybe you had past traumas that maybe come out, and, when you have those negative times, but you still always think about me, and you always want to make sure I'm okay, and you want to tend to my needs and cater to my needs, but maybe you yell here and there. Now, don't hit me, because I don't think that I'm completely sane in the head. Don't hit me. But if you say some things that maybe you learned or seen or heard when you were younger, we might can work on that. But yeah, don't hit me. But yeah, I would rather take a broken, selfless person, because you're gonna be attentive, and you're gonna, yeah, than a healed, selfish person. Like, I'm around you, but it's always, that sounds like well, I ain't gonna say a narcissistic person, because they say that they toxic, so they ain't healed. So self-centered. I don't know, but I think it's possible. I genuinely think that it's possible. And I can understand why it says that unconditional love is not neglecting your own needs too. Like, you can communicate when something's wrong with you in a healthy way. You can communicate when you have been wronged in a healthy way. Like, everything doesn't have to be an arguing or a yelling match, or, hitting below the belt. Like, everything does not have to be that. That's why I say, like, mature people can unconditionally love. It's the immature people that have a hard time unconditionally love somebody. Mature people can unconditionally love, and that's why I think that, we we are on the journey to learn how to unconditionally love, and we're working on unlearning a lot of things that we learned in the past. We're working on healing a lot of traumas. We're working on changing bad habits, but we're on a journey to learn how to unconditionally love, because we are love, right? So we're on a journey to learn how to give that out without any restraints, give it out without any fear of what that looks like. Because people have a hard time being vulnerable and opening up and letting their guard down and everything, and just giving without being fearful or worried that somebody's going to take advantage of them and things like that. But I truly think that once you get to a mature place, you start to empathize. So say if somebody did take advantage of you, or they stole your idea or stole money or whatever, instead of like being reactive because you're unhealed and you're immature, you're like, dang, if they stole that money from me, they must have really needed it, because they know that I'm the type of person where if you asked, I would have said yes if I had it, and if I didn't say yes, it was only because I didn't have it, or I was down to my last and I gotta provide for my family type of thing. Y'all, unconditional love is possible. It's possible. It is possible. It's possible. But y'all let me know if y'all agree or not. And I'm jumping all over the place because, y'all, it's hard to kind of stay on track when I'm the only person in here. I just let my thoughts roam. But I be trying to keep it concise for y'all, because y'all don't know that I'm all over the place. And this is why I can have an hour long worth of content by myself, because I'm all over the place. But no, really, like, a mature person can love unconditionally. It's the immature people that can't love unconditionally. It's the broken people that can't love unconditionally. It's the unhealed people that can't love unconditionally because there's a fear. There's a fear in us, and that if you think about it, when you think back to when we were kids, you were doing everything that you were supposed to be doing as a kid. Well, for most of y'all was doing everything that y'all was supposed to be doing as a kid, but then you think, okay, well, maybe my mom left or maybe my dad left, so was I like what am I am I really doing what I'm supposed to be doing if that made them leave? Like, am I loving in the appropriate manner and they still left? Like, am I worthy enough because they left? Like, am I enough because they left? Or I was doing what I was supposed to be doing, but they chose work over me, or they chose another person over me. So was I doing enough because they still chose something over? You know what, y'all? I'm finna get a little deeper. I'm finna get a little deep, and I'm not even gonna, go there because I'm getting almost to my time mark. But that's real things to think about. You really don't even think about the reason why a lot of us are scared to be ourselves is because when we were younger and we were being ourselves. Ooh, okay, let me not go there because I ain't never cried on this podcast and I ain't trying to do it today. But you were really being yourself, and ooh, okay. I ain't going down there. I'm not going down. Whoo, I'm not going down that path. Woo, y'all. Ooh. And that's why I say I talk my shit on me too. Because if you don't talk your shit on you, like, there's no point in, doing all this. Like, it don't even make no sense to talk your shit on everybody else when you can't talk your shit on yourself. But I ain't gonna go there just because I haven't went through these thoughts myself. I'm kind of going through these thoughts with y'all. So I ain't gonna go there because I ain't trying to ugly cry, because black people, we got an ugly cry. But y'all, I didn't even think about that. Like, a lot of us are scared to just be ourselves because we were robbed of like that when we were younger, you know? Like, when you were being yourself when you were younger, you were criticized, you were made fun of, you were rejected, you were, ooh, y'all. Oh, I'm trying not to cry, y'all, but it's a real moment, and it goes to show you that I really am on this journey with y'all, and I'm going through it with y'all, and I'm unpacking with y'all and all this other stuff. But that's and if you think about it, if we really are love, but the moment that we gave it out in the way of us giving it out because we were being true to us and genuine and everything, but it was rejected and it was shut down and it was abandoned, and it was it was so much, It makes sense why we have a hard time giving it out without wanting anything back in return. Without wanting that confirmation back in return, without wanting the same back in return. It's that fear. That fear. Like, that's why I'm like, do you move through life fearful, or do you move through life with wisdom? Because I think that wisdom is what helps you to set up boundaries and to be disciplined and things of that nature. But I think that you continue to be yourself and give yourself to other people because, if you are love, you are able to give that out in whoever you are. And I think that's truly the reason why we have so many problems today, is because as children, when we were just being who we were shut down so much. Like, literally, our love was robbed from us. our identity was ripped from us. Who we really were was ripped from us. And I think as we get older and older, we start to uncover and chip at, all of the hard exterior to, get reconnected to the child that we were, to the person that we were. Because I truly think that we literally start to gravitate back towards to who we were when we were younger. As we get older and you start healing, you start noticing that the stuff that you love to do was stuff that you did when you were younger. Like, I was criticized for talking so much. Like, they just said I talk so much and everything like that. And now I can't stop talking. I talk by myself. I talk with other people. I just can't stop it now because I've been able to heal and chip at, the little hardness that has started to formulate around me and stuff like that. But y'all, I really just got deep and I didn't know I promise y'all, I really did not know that I was gonna be on this thing crying. I really just was going all over the place. But that's why you gotta start either writing out. If you like to write, start writing out your thoughts. If you like to talk, just start talking to yourself. Don't feel crazy for it, because you'll notice that you'll start going through thoughts, and it'll start to uncover so much about you that you didn't even know that you had within you. Like, I really hadn't never thought about, the reason why I need that love back in return is because every time that I put it out, for some reason, it was hid away. Like, it was never just received. For some reason, sometimes it was received. Sometimes people loved me for me. Sometimes I got laughs. Sometimes I got hugs. Sometimes I got, the warmth. But sometimes it was just rejected. Sometimes it was like, you do too much. You're so dramatic. You're so extra. You're so this. You're so that. And it's just like, no wonder why when I give myself to other people, I need confirmation back. Like, I need affirmations back. And I need to know that you care about me as much as I care about you, because when we were younger and we gave out that love, we didn't get those confirmations and those reassurances back. Y'all, okay. I ain't gonna keep going deep with y'all, and I'm tired of crying. I'm tired of crying on camera, but I'm gonna end it right here, because I just feel like it just got real for a moment. And y'all, like, this is my therapy, and like I said, I talk my shit with y'all too, and I definitely could have went deeper, but y'all know I try to keep it below an hour, and my phone about to die anyway, so I'm trying to hurry up before it turns off. But yeah, so like, unconditional love is possible for mature people. For mature, healed, and healthy people, unconditional love is definitely possible. And I think that you should definitely be trying to figure out how to get to that place where you just are love. And you don't care about how you receive it back, because you are love. Work every day to become love, or work every day to uncover the love that you are, because throughout life, something or somebody has stripped away your love, or they have put your love behind, or your brain has put your love behind a whole wall of defense, because when you were a child, somebody stripped it away from you, or somebody made you feel like you were not whatever. So just work your life to chip at that. You should be literally waking up every day trying to chip at that wall, so you could get back to that love, so you could continue to give it out, and you could continue to be the best version of you, and you could continue to pour into others, because that'll encourage somebody else to start doing the work that you're doing. So keep working at it. Like, y'all, this was a real moment. Like I said, I did not plan to cry. I did not even plan to take my mind where it went. Like, I did not plan none of this. Like, it was really off the cuff. Like I said, everything is, y'all see how all over the place I be, but it was like random. But unconditional love is possible. And it's not going to come until you start to heal yourself and love on yourself and focus on yourself. At the moment where you are working towards giving yourself that, you'll be able to give it out to everybody. everybody around you will feel it. Everybody around you will be appreciative of it. And even if they're not, you continue to give it out. Love on your, like, I love on my haters. When they comment bad, well, I ain't got a lot, but when I get negative comments or something bad, I just reply something nice to them. Like, love on the negativity, because love wins. Love conquers all. And once you heal and become mature, healthy, and a growing person, you're going to be able to give it out like as much as possible. But I'm going to end it right here. Next week, don't remember what I said was next week, but you'll see when you get here. Again, this is going to be put out, well, this is going to be coming out Tuesday. So again, happy Valentine's Day, y'all. Week 15, Unconditional Love. So yeah, this is Talk Your Shit with Deja, where we drop the I, because not only can I talk my shit, but I want you to talk your shit too. And I appreciate y'all just getting in this real moment with me. Again, I did not plan on crying at all. Like, but I'm a big bucket of tears. So this ain't gonna be my first nor my last time crying. Well, this gonna be my first time, but this ain't gonna be my last time crying. But I'm glad that I was able to share with y'all, and I'm glad that I was able to even think about that, because now I can kind of go through those thoughts myself and start to heal those things, because I had never thought about that, but I just thought about it now and it just made me cry. So but yes, I will see y'all next Wednesday, because we'll be back on our regular scheduled programming. But yeah, bye y'all.